But we just bought our first home, and it was also the busiest month of the year. It was bridal season, and it was like the craziest month because I was doing weddings and buying a house and getting documents to my lender and dealing with all these emotions, and it was just insane. So today's episode is going to be about navigating the changes of life while being and having a sustainable business. How do you show up with your business when all these moving parts are happening at the same time? How was I able to still continue booking even though I was in the busiest time of my life, and the importance of organization? I'm actually going to share with you what I do to keep organized. And today you can see I showed up without any makeup. I did brush my hair, okay? And I put my cute little sweater on. But I just think it's so important that we also realize when I share all this stuff, I am not showing up like other influencers. I am an actual business owner. I work behind the chair. I go on locations to the weddings. So I'm actually a working hairstylist. I'm a working colorist. And this is the reality of what it takes to make it work. There are going to be days where this is how I look like, okay? So there are days when I was doing weddings, right? I have to get ready and do my hair and makeup and be presentable. But there's also like the days where I had to get documents for my house and life is happening where I have to look like this, and I'm okay with that because I usually look like this or I'm put together. Like it's one of the two looks. So I wanted to share that with you because I think sometimes we judge ourselves. Like we see all this Instagram feed and even TikTok feeds, and they're always all so cute and put together and act like, oh, everything's dandy and so like mellow, and we don't see the behind the scenes. So reality check, there are days where you may have to look a little less than than you would at work, but you have to do what you have to do to get stuff done. So number one is like about your appearance. It can be more laid back sometimes than it is at work versus when you're at home. So that's the thing. Then number two is also like, so what did I do to make it work? Organization. So I live by, this may sound bad, but this is how I do. Like this is how I find harmony in my life. I don't believe in balance. I don't believe in perfection. I believe in harmonizing, and what you give attention to grows. Okay. So my calendar, iPhone calendar, is a must. It has everything of what's going on. If I have appointments with clients, the doctor, the kids. I'm a mom to 3 kids. I also manage my husband's business. I'm a co-owner to that. So there's a lot of moving parts, and I know it sounds crazy, but what keeps me organized is literally that free tool, which is my calendar on my iPhone. And it just really helps me to get organized. So with organization, you're gonna need your iPhone or your phone calendar. And also make sure that you have to have boundaries. You need to be okay with saying no. And what I mean by that is if I have an appointment with my kids today, for example, I am not going to be scheduling a call with a client. I am not going to be scheduling services today. It's literally, it takes a lot of energy and time, and it throws my whole day off anytime my kids have extracurricular activities. And it's not making myself look or be a bad mom. And if I look a bad mom, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But I can't do it all. Like I need space. So you have to learn to say no. The same thing goes for business, okay? If I have a wedding that day, I am not scheduling a birthday party. I'm not trying to do other things. My main priority is my business that day. So that is how I function. And that's how I was able to literally navigate this whole change of like getting documents to my mortgage loan officer and putting an offer in a house. And we were doing counters because we wanted to buy the house for less than we bought it for. So we're going back and forth with the seller agent and our agent, and there was so many moving parts. And of course, because the less extra and crazy, I had a 21-day closing period. I probably wouldn't recommend that to anybody. Don't be psycho like me. That was intense, but I made it happen. So the other part, so we already talked about iPhone calendar. We talk about like some days you're gonna look less put together than others, or less fancy looking than others. And we talked also about saying no, right? When it's for work, that day is for work. If it's for personal, it's for personal. And you're going to have to be okay with saying no more often. So the other thing that I really did to navigate my busiest time of year is I am very organized. So I know, like for me, a week before the wedding, I'm trying to get my clients like, on schedule with what's going to happen the day of their wedding. So I'm always communicating with them, and having a timeline is so important. And it really helped me to make sure like I have a booking system. Okay, so Honeybook is what I use, and I'll put it in like in the comments. You guys can check it out. That's what I actually use for mine. I love it because you can track all the emails people send to you, pictures, everything, if they utilize the Honeybook system. So that system is really amazing because it does automatic reminders for me. So during this busy time of my life, if my client still owed me money for her upcoming wedding, she got an automatic reminder. I didn't have to do it. In my contract, just sharing some of the insights from my own business, is the payment is due. It's 7 days before the actual wedding date. I do not like collecting money on the wedding day because it's chaotic. It always turns to a mess, and it's just too much, honestly. Even just for me, I just like to keep it clean and simple. So I always like to collect the payments before I do services. So, and sometimes I'll get tips either before the services or during the day of the services or after. So anyways, with that, I really love Honeybook because if somebody hasn't paid 7 days before the wedding, they get an automatic reminder. If they still haven't paid, they get another reminder. So it just really helped me to stay on top of things without having to really rely on me physically doing things. So I really love that. The other part that really helped me during the hardest time in my life is also, like was buying the house, getting a loan for the house, and navigating my busy season, is taking time off. And what I mean by that is I wasn't posting as much on social media. And I know people like post every day, make a reel every day, do things every day. I couldn't do that. Like I was literally like in low capacity because I was like thinned out, and I wanted to also make sure what I was giving my attention to had my main thing. So like if I was booking things, if I was doing services, that I was really there and present. So I think it's really important that we also realize that that's such an important part of all of this, right? And, like something that really helped me was taking time off. So sometimes I had to go on a walk, or I had to just have a morning where I wasn't doing anything and I had silence, or a day where I could clean. So you need to find also like what helps you when you feel overwhelmed. What helps you like center yourself back? Is it going to the gym? Is it going on a walk? Figure out what helps you center. Is it to light a candle? Is it just to be in silence? Is it just to like sip on a hot cup of tea or coffee, or just have a glass of water, or have lemon water? Like you have to figure out like, it's not always spa days, not always getting your nails done, not always going to get your hair done. Sometimes it's like the little things that really helps us recenter. So you have to really recenter yourself. And lastly, for this little mini podcast episode on helping me and navigate buying a home, getting a mortgage, getting a loan approval, which was a mess because we're both self-employed. That'll be for a different episode. And also navigating the biggest time of my year, which was October, and it happened when I bought my house. And October is a magical month for me. I love Halloween. It was really just being with intention. I am a very strong believer in what you put attention to grows. So if you're stressed out all the time, you're going to make that shit grow more, right? If you are in an abundant and grateful mind, you're going to make that grow more. So for me, I was like, I am so grateful I have this business. So I'm going to give my all to my clients and my brides. And I have systems in place in regards to babysitting. When I'm working, people know who to get a hold of. Don't talk to me. My phone's on silent. I don't want to hear it. And, like, even for me, like, I've had to train my girls and remind them when they work alongside me to help me in weddings. I do not like being interrupted. I only have my phone to get content for, Instagram and stuff. But honestly, other than that, I'm actually going to end up getting a new phone. And this phone is going to receive no messages. It's going to be literally just for recording, because that's how important it is to me. But also, I do not like being interrupted. I don't like people, oh, look, you got a message on your Ring camera or this and that. Like, that drives me nuts. So I just think it's so important that we have systems in place, like whether it's for babysitting, whether it's to create content or get content, and also be like kind to yourself. Most importantly, give yourself the grace. We all need grace in our lives, because things are going to happen. Like there was one day where I was crying. I was in my car crying. It happened on Tuesday because they were like, yeah, you're guaranteed for the loan amount for this amount. And they're like, no, just kidding, not anymore. Because you guys hadn't filed their taxes because we had an extension. And it turned into this whole mess. Moral of the story, I bought my house. My husband and I bought our home. But it was a lot of emotions. And that day I was fucking crying. And I was supposed to go to the gym. And I was supposed to clean the house. and start packing. And I couldn't do none of that stuff because I was really just like overwhelmed and just like, "Ugh, I don't even want a house anymore. I don't want to do this anymore." So I took that day, the rest of the day for myself. And I didn't judge myself. I didn't judge myself because I didn't post, I didn't do a podcast episode, I didn't record. So I've taken time off to really like make my home my home. I literally am finishing up my garage today and I'm done. Like we're officially moving into our home. And I'm just sharing that with you because although there's so much work and it's gonna be a project, it's gonna be like a home remodel of 2 years and we're doing it little by little. It is my home, and I took the time and I gave myself grace that it was okay, that it wasn't all done perfectly and on anybody's timeline, and I made it happen. So I really hope this episode really helped you, and please let me know in the comments, like, have you ever dealt with like buying a house or a busy time in your business? Like, how do you keep yourself sane through that period? Because this is what helped me. So until then, I'll see you next time. Bye, love.